All right, you know what? Let's not do a long intro roll. All right, this is a one-off stream. All right, this is Uthris is not back. Let's answer question number 1. Not back yet. All right, so. Anyways, welcome. We're gonna be checking out some Vintage Story mods. Oh my God, it's Boomkin. I think some people in Discord had some questions in general about the mod set that I've been kind of testing on my own. It's a loose preparation for another Vintage Story community server that might be happening closer to fall/winter of this year. So I figured I'll go ahead and just kind of stream a little bit of this stuff, go over some of the mods with you guys to answer some questions or what have you. That you guys might have, and then see if there's any, of course, suggestions for things in the future. Right now, Vintage Story is on version 119.5. I'm hoping that Vintage Story is going to be at version 1.20 later in the year when we actually end up doing the server, which will be 2 versions past where the current last season was, which means there's going to be hopefully more story content, more things to do, and I guess they're going to be working on some travel enhancements as well in the game for that update. So, that'll be interesting to see. So let's go over some of the mods here first. That's going to be probably the most important thing. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. All right, so first mod, I'm just going to do these in order, not any specific order, it's just going to be in the alphabetical order. So we got ABCS Reborn. Reborn usually means for a mod in Vintage Story that they're continuing something that was out of date. So this is a kind of backpack upgrading kind of system so that you can... as you go through the different ages, there's even bigger upgrades to the backpacks, and they just add more pouches, and it's visually pretty good. You also have to have every tier in order, so you can't skip tiers without making the previous tier, which I think is good, because at the end of the day, it's a pretty expensive process to get to the top tier backpack with that mod, and the top tier backpack is pretty strong. It's like 26 slots, so... that's pretty good. Culinary Artillery, everyone's familiar with this. This is, of course, just way more expanded cooking. Ancient Armory, this is going to be a lot of kind of new weapons in the game that kind of matches the theme a little bit better. Ancient Tools, that was in last season. Let's see. We got Better Crates, that was in last season too. This is upgradable crates, things like that, right? Better Ruins, always a good one. Bricklayers. I'm rebalancing Brigandine armor, hopefully, to make it a little bit more useful and a little bit more role specific. Also, it balances chain armor. Bullseye completely changes the way that you aim and used ranged weapons. Butchering mod, which got updated to work with some modded creatures as well, which is cool. Carry on. Chisel tools, of course. We got clay casting for kind of late game clay creation, which is good. We have Decor Bazaar, which is going to be a lot of the decorative blocks. We got dried fire fuels, so you can dry wood and peat to make them better fuels for fires. Entities interact, which is affecting some of the AI creatures, make sure they actually hunt correctly. And things like that. We got expanded foods, fields of gold. All this stuff's pretty standard. Fox taming is going to be a new one. Geodes and gemstones for you collectors out there is going to be a new one. We got immersive wood chopping, immersive wood sawing, which changes how you get firewood, and planks. Crossbows, bows, firearms, pretty standard there. Got, of course, taming wolves and things. Primitive survival is a big new one. There's rivers now. Scarecrows for your farms. Tent bags, survival expanded. That's going to make this a lot harder for the early game. So I'm just going to create a new world, and we'll just kind of go from there so you guys can kind of see how it plays. It's going to be difficult, I would say, compared to what probably everyone's used to. So just an FYI, especially the early game, because there's kind of a progression system. And let's see here. Let's do 30 days. I'll set it up as if I was standing up a server real quick. That way. That's fine. Prop pick node search. Gotta have that. Temporal storm. We're gonna have temporal storms on the server. This season, which should be good. Gear respawns will not be infinite. I'm gonna set them to 5. Land cover, we'll do 60%. And then land cover scale 200%. Upheaval rate down to 20%. Landform scale 300%. 300. A little bit more trees. A little bit more copper. Some rare surface 10. And that's generally the server settings I go with. So let's see if we get a decent spawn. And just try and survive for a little bit. I might die a lot, honestly. So one of the biggest changes as we load in here, and it does take a little bit with all the mods and the fact that I don't have an SSD. One of the biggest changes is survival expanded and primitive survival. Those are going to be definitely the big ones. I don't even have notifications turned on anymore. Can't even see those. I'm not configured to stream. I had to salvage a lot of this stuff. So, how's it going? By the way, I don't even know if everyone can hear me. Testing 1, 2. Says my mic is picking up audio, but we'll find out. I'm sure you guys will complain. Anyways, so one of the biggest changes is survival expanded. And what this does is that it drastically increases the beginning phases of the game. Okay? So, for example, Flint is a lot more important for napping than it ever was in the past. You require to have Flint to essentially do your standard stone shaping that you guys are used to. Flint is also the best, outside of obsidian, I think, durable stone tool as well. So finding Flint and using Flint is a lot more important this time around. There's also a talent system with this, which I'll explain once we're in the game a little bit more. But essentially, you get talent points for every in-game day you survive. If you die partway through a day, that progress to the next talent point is lost. And those talent points are spent to unlock tech. And that tech would be like clay shaping or metalworking or storing food. So until you unlock these as an individual character, you can't use those items at all. Also, the tool progression has been changed as well. So I think it's required to have. What is going on here? Let's see. Yeah, sure. Confirm. I have never had this before. There we go. Okay. So here we are in a nice little world. There's a little lake here and it looks like a little river, so we might head that way first just to get started. Let me see here. Full screen plus always on top. Okay, there. That's better. Better resolution. Alright, so you'll notice that I picked a new class. Rustbound Magic is in the save as well. So let me explain to you some of the napping changes. Obviously, there's sandstone here, which you could never nap with anyways because it's too soft. But even if it was granite, I wouldn't be able to use these. So I defined flint. And the best way to find flint with the mod is you want to look for shallow, kind of freshwater pools. And you'll find flint kind of in the gravel sometimes in here. Or you, of course, can find flint in the hills and exposed stones. But that's maybe a little bit more rare than you would think. So I'm not finding any flint in this pool of water. Now this is a modded lake. I don't know if flint's necessarily going to spawn in here, but you might. Okay, so there's a piece of flint, which is good. So we can actually kind of start. Let's see if there's any other flint real quick. I'm going to need more flint. Because when you're doing napping with flint, it actually has a chance to break that piece of flint every time you kind of chisel away at it. So napping is a little bit harder and a little bit slower in that regard. So let's see here. And there is a little bit of an item that we will kind of craft just to have us a better shot at successful kind of stone shaping. Which I'll show you once I find some more flint. Some mythical flint. Alright, some more flint there. You're not always going to find flint, and flint doesn't respawn, so you guys might have to be searching for flint, mining for flint. When is the Fortnite stream? I don't know. It might be another 150 days of no content before another stream even appears. So the Fortnite stream might be on hold. Sorry to disappoint. Alright, so I got 5 pieces of flint. Let's see if this is enough. So obviously you got your standard menu here, but the first thing I want to make is a hammerstone, which really speeds up the napping process. And with this stone from flint, you can actually craft using the other stones if you need to. So it works the same. It's actually slower though. I already broke 1 piece of flint. Awesome. Okay, broke 2 pieces of flint. Alright, cool. And we got a hammerstone. And I have RPG item rarity in here. As long as kids enjoy it, Fortnite won't die. That is true. Alright, so the hammerstone is really what you're going to be using for the most part to do a lot of the napping process. I have all this sandstone, which kind of sucks. So we might have to take the highway, that is the river system, because modded rivers are great for that. Obviously they flow in a single direction, and you can't really swim upriver too well, unless you have a boat, which we don't have, but we're just gonna swim downriver. A friend of mine just bought you this game. I really like it. It's better than Minecraft in every way. I agree. This is a lot more in the direction that I wanted Minecraft to go in initially when Minecraft first came out. So you can see how fast I'm moving downstream. Obviously, if I tried to swim upstream with the river mod, I kind of can't. The flow is too strong. And I can adjust this in the mod config, but I kind of like the highway that it kind of creates in a way. So I'll just keep swimming down until we get a different rock type, because I don't want to waste all my flint here initially. Rivers is also a pretty good way to find flint, not necessarily because it spawns in it, but because the rivers actually cut the terrain away, and you can find exposed rocks a little bit easier. To get flint, though I am picking up some, luckily, as I swim down here. No, the river is basically at the same level as sea level, so there's no tiering effect. Maybe in the future it might, or maybe I know the mod creator was talking to the main dev of this game as well. So I mean, maybe in the future it will do that, but it will fork and combine and get wider as it goes down. So you can see a lot of these starts to the rivers. It'll even form lakes along the way too. And you get these little river valleys that can get pretty steep. This is, you know, your flint that you can gather just out of the stone, which is a good way to get flint as well. So, outside of the flint changes initially, this is, you know, one of the biggest things that you had to find. Otherwise, making reed baskets, very much the same. Landslides, very much the same. I almost died. Alright, so I have plenty of flint. Now the nice thing about the flint changes is that I can use one piece of flint, and with the hammerstone, I don't need a second piece of flint, you know, to craft anything. So let's do a knife blade, and you'll see with the hammerstone, it actually breaks a 3x3 little chunk. So you can see how much faster it is to nap. Even though it's slower to click, it's actually kind of faster. So you're kind of breaking off larger chunks at a time. Of course, this has durability though. So you want to make sure that you kind of always have one. Let's get some sticks. Create a little spear for myself. A little knife. I'm gonna go ahead and make an axe as well. Because I'm gonna need firewood. Potentially cook things. Alright, so here you're gonna see, obviously I need to drop them. The base flint knife is 130 durability. If I look at like granite knife, 90 durability, right? If I look at obsidian knife, 160. So obsidian's actually a little bit better than flint, which is pretty cool. You can pan for flint, so if you make a pan, of course that's an okay way to get flint. It's probably a little bit slower, but if you're desperate and you just have a knife on you and a piece of log, you can, of course, pan for that starter flint. And again, I'm really emphasizing this flint gathering initially just because it's a big first thing that you need. Because without it, you kind of can't progress at all. Let's make a basket. Good. I need to find some horsetail to make some healing items. So the class I chose, by the way, is Rust Mage. Because we have Rustbound Magic. Which is a whole system that is pretty crazy and in-depth to do. But generally can be worth it. Alright, let's go over here. There's a little bit of a ruin. How's our terrain shaping up? A lot of jaggedy, kind of rolling hills here. Not great looking. Oh, a worm. Pick that up so I can make a fishing trap. I'm gonna go ahead and gather some logs before it's too late. And I should probably look for some berries as well. need to make more bag slots so that I can hold more spears. Oh yeah, so this is another change. So this is how you get firewood now. Ooh woo. You have to place down the log, hold an axe, right click on it. So there is no crafting grid recipe for firewood. You actually have to chop your own firewood. If you want a faster way to do it, you can kind of do this instead, but that's how you get firewood now. And it only works on logs that you place. So this log here that's still natural, I can't do it too. So that's a little immersive thing. I'm gonna try and get me a bunny. Alright, I really need berries. Let's go find some berries. Without Wildcraft, it's a little hard to, seems like a better way. It's actually slower than the default way, but, okay, these are hollies. So this is another thing is, so those talent points I was mentioning, you know, right now I know Flint, but I don't know what food is unless I eat it. So I'm pretty sure that's a holly bush, which is poisonous. I'm not going to eat that. Oof. I am struggling to find some food. This is... Oh man, I don't know what that is. That could be holly. It's pretty bright red. I'll hold on to it. This is cranberry, I believe. Yeah, cranberry. Now that I've eaten it, I can identify the bush too, which is kind of nice. Also, you'll see when I'm running around, I'm actually clearing the grass. So this is the trails mod. You can actually see the path I kind of took to even get to here. And if I run over an area enough, it'll turn into a trail. And then if I keep using it, it'll kind of make a better path too. You can kind of see the effect a little bit quicker over clay and stuff. So this is a cool mod. I really like it. So you can see the little path I took through the clay there. Okay, so that's sandstone. I might have to follow the river more. Find an okay spot here. I am getting a lot of flint, which is nice. Yeah, the grass will grow back over time. There's kind of, it takes an equal amount of time. So the grass here, the sparse kind of grass that I'm making kind of quickly, grows back in like a day or two in game. And then as I go over it more and more, it just kind of takes the same amount of time. So that would probably be like 3 days to make that grass come back. And then if it's a wilderness trail, it might take 7 days for it to go back. And during winter is a big time that the grass kind of recovers because, you know, if there's snow on the ground, you're actually not making trails anymore. But if there's snow on the ground, you're actually making snow trails, which are kind of cool. It's like its own separate thing. So a big change for clay, right, is I have to unlock clay manipulation. So until then, I can't even shape clay molds or anything. But the clay requires a tool of 30% power. If I look at the shovels and look at just like a granite shovel, it's only 20% power. So a granite shovel can't go through clay. You actually at least need a bone shovel, I believe. Because it's 30% tool power. So bone shovels kind of what you're going to shoot for to break through clay. Of course, a metal shovel can do it as well. But you want a shovel made out of bone for that initial gathering. Keeping my eye out for some more reeds. I'm pretty sure that's holly. I don't want to eat that. I do not want to eat that. What tier spear did I make? Oh, uncommon. Nice. How about this one? Common. Good. Let's get some of this so I can make some bandages. There we go. The Rust Mage class has a very, very little max HP, so let me drop some firewood too. Get some more berries. Very nomadic early start. A lot of travel. Might go ahead and gather enough stuff for a bed as well, because it'll be nighttime soon. So this mod adds new stats that you can gain by having a good nutrition value. There's an energy meter so that you kind of, you know, if you don't sleep, you kind of lose 10% move speed. If you do sleep and have a good energy meter, you gain 10% move speed. So sleeping's a kind of a thing. I don't know how that's going to work in multiplayer, honestly. That'll be like one of the things we'll test before the server, but single player you do have to sleep. I'm hoping in multiplayer you just lay down, you just sit there for like a couple minutes. Alright, what is this? Slate. Alright, we got some reeds over here. Oh. That we'll get. So with a lot of the mod changes and things and a little bit of the change to the progression in the game, you know, you will kind of have a pretty nomadic start. I mean, you could kind of settle in a small area if you want to still initially, but you're going to be doing a decent amount of traveling, especially if you don't find Flint fairly quickly. Bag. So how's everyone been, by the way? You guys having a good 2024? Hopefully better than mine, but hope so. Alright, let me go ahead 3 mats here. Make a bed, so we have it. Good so far. I've had a rough winter. That sucks. Like, look at this river system. All these forks coming together. I did recently mess with some of the river settings to try and get like wider rivers to spawn. I don't know what that's going to do to my general terrain generation, but some copper. I'll go ahead and mark that. Never know. And I think rivers are really going to add an interesting element for people to build around. Like if someone wants to make a bridge and stuff, like spanning this gap, that would be cool. It just adds a certain element of uniqueness for sure that you can do. And boy, it is raining. It's not letting up at all. Let's go over here real quick. See if there's reeds. Yeah, we're gonna have to sleep the first night for sure. Because with this rain and everything, I can't really make a fire too quickly. So it'll be best to just sleep through it. Golden Gate Bridge, true. Or you can use the drawbridges that come with some of the mods, right? And, you kind of have a natural gap already. You don't have to, like, dig away a mountainside if you choose to build near a river. Alright, what time is it? Alright, cool. I think I can sleep. So here you can see my energy bar going up. And the rough bed, will only cap out my energy to like 75%. If I had a full wooden bed, it'll bring it all the way up. So. Alright, there we go. We got all of our baskets. I'm going to keep gathering reeds. Reeds are going to be a little bit more important too because of if I wanted to make fish traps with primitive survival. I think that's the mod that adds that stuff. I'm going to need a fair amount of reeds. I think 12 reeds per one trap. So I feel like fish traps, if you live near water, are going to be a good supply of steady food. But you do, you have to kind of bait them and things. So let's get the cordage for that. And make a new knife. Uncommon. Nice. Need some sticks. One really cool thing about the trails mod, by the way, is just the fact that if you run over ferns a lot, it just deletes them. So you can use that to your advantage. Hey, General, dude. How's it going, man? How did Valheim go? Isn't this for a fish trap? Yep. Look at this river valley. Really cutting through this terrain. I do agree it will be cool if they do get like waterfalls to work. Like if they could know that basically that they scan for the height of this and lower it by like 5. This would be the water level, and then it would just constantly scan and fall and tear down. I don't know if they can do that or how, you know, or if that'll just like really slow down the performance. Love one-offs. Good to say. Hey, Axe, how's it going, man? Good to see you again. Mod testing is going well. Almost ready for Mistlands. Nice. I might play on the server, but I definitely won't be streaming it. But then again, it depends on when Mistlands comes out. I'll be in Japan in May for like 18 days. So I have no idea. Need Flint. Nope. I'm sure you've seen some of the conversations in our Vintage Story chat in general that, you know, I'm doing some mod testing for another season later in the year. So here I gain a knowledge point because I survived one full 24 hours. Right, so I have a talent point to spend. There's nothing I can use to unlock right now. So clay manipulation, I had to survive for one more day to get clay. Nutritional knowledge, survive for one more day, and I could spend points on that, which means I don't have to, you know, shove everything in my mouth to find out what they are. Food preservation, meal preparation, you know, all this stuff, you know. Server will be ready for it. Nice. May 8th V Rising as well. Well, I'll be out of the country for that too. Alright, I'm trying to get to the coast, so I'm gonna follow this river more. I need more food first. A little short on food. Let's make another spear or 2. Try and get some meat. And hopefully we won't die in the process. The mage class that I picked is very, very squishy. I think I only have 7 HP or something. It's pretty crazy. Need some sticks. Which means most things will just about one-shot me. Let's see, any good spears? No, of course not. Asking for too much. Little trader here. Alright. We're going hunting. Now, the cool thing about the trails mod is if over time you're a little observant, you can actually start seeing trails form from the animals. Because they do make trails. And so you can kind of hunt groups of animals that way. I have to look for some fish. Fish might be easier. If I go south, that's ocean, I think. I think that's ocean. I'm gonna go south. Another big change that I want to have as well for the server is I want to spawn everyone in a slightly warmer climate than the one that we did last season. That, what is that, a hedgehog? It's a little modded creature here. I don't kill hedgehogs, so, you know, they get to live. Alright, let's see. any fish. Unlucky, no fish. I would hunt the fish in the river, but the current makes it really hard for me to, like, skin them. Ooh, what's this? Little raccoon boy. Come on. Okay, bush meat, not great. Okay, well, I have some bandages, which will extend my life when I'm starving, so that's good. Let's just keep moving. Might get lucky and find some more berries. Yep. Is that a mouse? That's a field mouse. Off he goes. Yeah, there's some critter mods I've installed and stuff. Just to add some more wildlife. Alright, so there's some food for us. Check the river again here. Any pathways forming? No, I'm not really seeing anything. We'll just keep going down river. I've traveled a fair amount from our spawn. This is a long river. And you can see, like, if you have a boat and you want to live at the end of this lake, you could use the whole river as like a boat highway. If you wanted to. Alright, there's some fish. I'm gonna bring them over to the shore. If I can swim. Oh, man. The current is too much. It's too much. I think I had better luck looking for berries, especially for how much we're moving around. There we go. There we go. Little ruin over here. We'll check it out. Hopefully no mobs spawn in it. Famous last words. This looks like a little ruined windmill. Scouting it out a little bit first before I hop in there. Okay. Well, maybe we'll clean up the bottom of this ruined windmill and use that as a base. How's that sound, guys? Get a little free mace out of it. Just go ahead and get rid of a lot of this ruined stuff. Start making some room. So unlike last season, ruined things aren't immediately pick-upable. If you have something that you want to be able to pick up that's a ruin, you got to repair it first now. Using the new glue system that's like default in the game. Ooh, we get a little free vessel too. I'll take it. Free axe. Nice. What's this? Ruined battle axe. 4.5 damage. Doesn't have much durability though. Ruined stiletto. I think I'm gonna raise the floor up so we're not constantly kind of dipping down and stuff. Let's use this axe to potentially break these wooden ruin pieces. I think it's a bit faster. Broken anvil, ruined stove. Oh, nice. We get a torch holder. Try and clear away some of this dirt. And replace it with packed dirt. Something a little bit more permanent. Let's check up the windmill. Scrap blade. The quern. Going lantern. I don't think it can go any higher than that. There we go. Now I'm not just like bumping around. The time. We got a working tool rack, which is kind of good. Like that. Put that there. Get rid of these stalagmite and stalactites. Some more headroom. Alright, so we got a pretty big hole in the wall here that we'll have to patch. Which I might be able to just do that. These support beams. See, this is like one of my favorite things about this game. Like finding ruins is like half the joy for me. For sure. You know, like repairing them, kind of salvaging them a little bit. Use them as a good little base foundation for us. Especially these slabs. The slabs are very versatile. Because I get a little bit more room by breaking them, and then I can use them as actual walls for the most part, too. Honestly, this was going to be a short stream, but all of a sudden now it's turning into like an actual Let's Play. Let's get rid of the slab. Then I need to find the place to click on these support beams. Support beams are still a little annoying. Spring cleaning. Actually, let's put the little gap up here. That way Jeffs can't just crawl in. Alright. Alright, this is decently secured now. Let's find a spot for our bed. Thinking there. Okay, we got a little quern, which is nice. We do have a little chest already. Let's go ahead and start a fire, I suppose. Because that's always a good thing to do. I could put the fire there, I guess. I think that's fine. And I need some sticks to make the next part. A little fire starter. Yeah, it's like a little abandoned windmill. So. We will be living in it for a little bit. Very good. And I need a torch. for later. Let's see if there's any food. Maybe in some of these other ruins. Oh! It's empty. What a joke. What a joke. It literally was labeled food. Ha! Make rice flour, but I'm just gonna have to eat it. Maybe save 2 for seeds? For later? Think about the future. Alright, sweet. Torch holder. Okay. Then axe can be put away. This axe can be put away. This mace can be put away. Dirt for now. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the quern from the middle, and we'll just shove it into a corner, I think. Right there. We'll just open this place up a little bit. Perfect. All right, home sweet home. And we already have some aged firewood. So let me talk about some of the aged firewood stuff. So firewood and peat go through different phases. So the default firewood that is undried lasts for 24 seconds, 500 degrees Celsius. So it's actually worse than the normal vanilla firewood. But it can dry into dry firewood. Burns longer, burns hotter, and then it can eventually age into aged firewood, which burns the hottest and the longest. Now, peat does the same thing, but it burns a little less hot than firewood, but it burns generally longer at the age stage, so 48 seconds. So peat's going to be great for cooking. Firewood you might want to use to like kickstart a charcoal thing or something like that, but it's kind of my understanding of it. And they only dry really quickly, even not very quickly, if they're in stacks like that. So it kind of gives a little bit more purpose for that. They can be rained on. I don't think that affects their drying time, but honestly, I don't know. It doesn't really say. Okay, I need to start catching some fish. So we're just gonna go straight down to the lake. That's a little steep. What's the most gentle way? I guess I have to go kind of around back and down. Because I can break my leg, which will affect my movement speed by a decent amount. Nice. Alright, so I want to set a fishing trap. And I'm going to bait it with a worm. So we have our first fishing trap set. I need to make more of those. Starting to get dark. Okay. And to find worms, you can find worms if you lift up rocks sometimes. Alright, so that'll be baited. I need to find some general food. real quick. Ooh, there's copper here. That's cool. Let's do that. Let's mark home. Hey Chris, bro, how's it going? I'm now like fully back. This is, as the title says, this is a bit of a one-off to talk about some mods that I've been testing for Vintage Story. Is that a chicken? I'm gonna kill that chicken, but it's hard to see with all the grass and stuff. I'm gonna sneak. Try and find it again. Come here, come here. Stop hiding in the tall grass. What is that? There's something blinking over here. I have never seen this before. Is it just the fireflies doing that? Ow. Oh. I'm taking damage from Birch Tree Hollow. Empty. What did I even find in there? Flax seeds? That's kind of cool. What the? What are those? Huh. I think that's a wisp thing that was added by one of the mods. I've never seen them before, so it's kind of interesting. They seem pretty rare. I am dying. It's not looking good. It's also really dark. Let's get back up to the windmill. If I sleep right now, I'm just gonna die. I'm gonna grab our torch so I can see, because I need to find some berry bushes. Don't care about increased hunger rate when you're already starving. Let's check down here, see if there's any forage stuff. Oh great, oak seeds. Yeah, that's totally what I wanted to find. Road. Burned out a house thing. Nothing. Nothing. Alright. We're gonna cook cattails. Sadly, our only option for food right now. And we have a decent amount of them, so we'll go ahead and just harvest them. If I can get 7 of them, that should allow us to at least sleep. Also, Jesus, it's constantly raining here. Arctic supplies. It's literally just clay. How's that Arctic supply? Whatever. Don't ask. Alright, let's heal. Alright, let's throw that in there, and then I think I'll use some of this aged firewood to cook with, since it burns hotter anyways. Put that back in its sconce. I get to sit here for a little bit. Oh yeah, I had a bushmeat. How did I forget that? I think I'm fairly safe here. At the moment. I don't think Jeffs can get in, but you just kind of never know. I'm worried about the 1x1 gap here. I guess I can kind of do that to fix that. Seal me in. Alright, a little bit of food. A little bit of healing. We're chilling. We're chilling. You can see, like even I kind of struggle the first couple days too, because of all the traveling we kind of had to do. Let's get rid of these ruined shells. I don't need them. Get rid of the support beam that's coming down too. Okay. A couple more of these. What are my thoughts so far? How am I liking the new version? The new version's good. I like 119. I'm excited to see what 120 gives, for sure though. Alright, yeah, we're exhausted. I understand. Let me get some red meat. Swap this out real fast, because I think it cooks faster than the cattails by a little bit. You can see, even though I switched out logs, the heat's going down. It's a plan for 120 so far. They've showcased, they haven't really said anything specific. It's part 2 of the storyline. And they're adding new, and it's going to require a lot of traveling, so they're going to add new ways to travel. Whatever that ends up meaning, right? Oh, it charred. That sucks. Alright, I think I'm okay to sleep. Good. Still raining, as it will be forever, probably. Might be a ruin over there to check out. Let's go check our fish traps. See how they did. No fish yet. It's okay. I go ahead and make another one though. Let's find a worm. Eat it. Is there a fish icon I can use? Not really. Let's mark it with a star. Fish traps. Okay, so next thing I need to do is I actually need to hunt for bone. Because again, I can't do any clay stuff Well, until we unlock clay manipulation, which I need to do here in a little bit, once we level up. It's a good thing I didn't die, because I would have lost all that progress to the next knowledge point. Right? So again, those of you who, like, kind of abuse the dying mechanic to almost res and get past, you know, survival stuff, it's gonna pay off in the long term if you're constantly resetting your progress of knowledge. Also, you know, depending on how far away you are from your spawn, because spawns aren't going to be unlimited anymore. It'll be 10 spawns per temporal, or 5 per temporal gear on the next season. What is that? I don't know what that is. Alright, so this is the new aiming mechanic. Okay, so it's a boar. Got it. It's kind of there to mimic a little bit of an unsteady aim. Oh yeah, I need to, and we have the butchery mod enabled, so I'm gonna have to carry this guy back. And it's good weight, which is nice. Let's get, I need to find resin. Is there any pine trees nearby? A little bit over here. Alright. New mission, find some resin. Because we need that to be able to use the butchering table. Okay, there's a big cat somewhere. Great. That's always fun. And there's a snake on the ground. Okay. That's fun too. We'll just keep running. Ooh, it's a big geode. You guys are rock collectors. Look at how wide this river is. Wow. I might need to make a rope bridge at some point over this to get across. Some ruins. Tool vessel. What did we get? Epic flint shovel. Common 10 bronze axe. We'll take it. Here's another ruin. Should look to see if there's any locust nests first. Looks like there's a basement below me. Could be mobs down here. Just gonna take a glance. You know what? This might be a better base than the windmill, chat. This is a lot more spacious. Should we just move into here instead? A whole potential archaeology site here, too. Gonna have to seriously consider moving bases. Alright, pine trees. Right over here. Ooh, a cow. The cows work on the butchery table mod now, too. Alright, let's see if we get lucky and find some resin. Quickly. There. Boom. We just need 0.01 for it. Yes. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let's check the basement out of this building. See if there's some storage I can quickly use for a bit. So we don't have to go all the way back to the windmill. Oh yeah, classic barricade setup. Can't use that, that's broken. Is there a vessel though? Okay, there's a translocator. One saw. I'm not seeing a vessel. Bit of a shame. Alright, let's go back to the windmill then. More copper. Yeah. Can I get clay manipulation now? Yes, learned that. Okay, I swam into something that didn't like me. It hurt. Yeah, dead spiders. Yeah, you know. Better than alive spiders, though. I don't know, I kind of like the windmill base. Like, eventually repairing it and getting the windmill working again, it's kind of cool. Here you can see the trails are starting to form from me going kind of here and around here a little bit. Alright, let's store that. Let's store the epic flint shovel. Alright, so do I have a axe? I do. Can I store this in there for now? No. But maybe it'll put them just back on the ground. Yep. Alright. And first things first, we need a hook. Which is 2 logs, 8 sticks, 1 flint, and 1 thing. So let's go get some logs. Find a tree to chop down. This looks like a good candidate. Looks like a good little candidate. Also, for my own personal RP, I think going forward, I'm going to leave the stump on every tree I cut down. Okay, so snap these hooks. And then that resin, 2 logs. Okay, we got a hook to hang our pig on. So we'll go ahead and hang it so it starts bleeding out. Let's hang it here. And we lost our knife. Actually, no, that's when we craft the table. So I'll go ahead and skin them. So this is a new thing with 1.19, by the way. Actually, rawhide, different material. If you make something, like if you get some default skin, they perish now, so they like degrade over time. I forgot I just recently installed the fabric mod, so that's a little bit different than my previous save already. Alright, so that is leaking a little bit. Now, for the table, I need an axe, which I have. Okay, yep. 4 more logs. I need some stone, which I have, and 6 flint, which I have. So, let's see if this works with damaged tools. Yes. Alright, cool. You can see it consumes the tool. So, butchery table, we'll just throw out here too. No need to fret about that. That's good. I got my basket back. I need a hunting bag. Oh boy, that's a lot of little stuff, but I can carry 4 animals. That's pretty handy. Ooh, what do I need for a smoker? Planks. Darn. Let's go check our fish traps. It's been a little bit. Nothing. Big oof. You can see my little path down here starting to show up on the map. One of my other favorite things about the Trails mod is that it shows up on the map like that. Tell you what, I'm gonna push some of this dirt away from the entry a little bit. That way it doesn't feel quite as cramped. I need a new knife. About half a minute until we can skin our pig boy. Alright, let's see if we can spot any other animals wandering around. That we might be able to hunt. The longer you stay in one area, the more animals kind of wander around and break little kind of grass patches. But with all the trees, it'll kind of hide that activity. Butterflies. Oh yeah, the nice thing about killing this boar is we'll get our bone shovel out of it, so we'll be able to actually start harvesting clay. So not only will we get some meat, we'll get some bone shovel out of it. Pretty good. There we go. And go ahead and cook up this prime rib. And this meat as well. Alright, I know some clay forming. So we're gonna need a cooking pot. Okay, so from here, you guys can see it's you know, outside of like the specific resources you need to survive, it's gonna be a lot of the same, but again, progress is just gonna be slowed down. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change gears a little bit, just so we can answer some questions about some of the mods we might have. First things first, I'm just kind of curious if there's anything at the top of this window. Yep. Sometimes there are. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my other save that I've been running single player for about 20 hours, with a mixture of survival and a little bit of creative mode, just to kind of push some mod development. 35 hours, Jesus, I've been testing for a while. So this is a little bit more developed in terms of progression, and I can show you some other little mod things that we have planned. Mainly rust magic. So the magic class is something that I spent a lot of time testing on this one. And it is not an easy mod. If you guys want a hard class to choose, the next time we have a server up, choose a mage. Not only do you have so little HP, but you are constantly needing to fight Jeffs and for resources. You are constantly messing around with rifts for resources. Potentially going crazy all the time by progressing. But you get some cool stuff out of it. which is nice. And we'll just do this a little section in creative mode so you guys can ask any questions about some of the mods, and we'll go into some more of the niche mods that we have as well. The load time takes a while too with all this stuff. I'm hoping to get a new PC later this year. I've had this computer since about 2017, 2016. So it's slowly kind of dying on me. It's not like creating any hardcore issues, but like it's just, you know, there's some dead USB ports on it. There's space issues and things like that. And the fact that I'm still using just a standard 1080, that's my graphics card. So have you guys, I'm just kind of curious too, have you guys follow me on Twitter or anything, if you guys have kind of seen, or on our Discord, and if you guys have seen the what the heck happened here? Hold on. What the? Okay, cool. Venture Story crashed. What did it do? Self-reference, self and child bounds. Okay, Stack Overflow, fun. What other classes? We'll just use probably one of the default kind of. Sorry, my game crashed. We'll have to restart it. Did not like that at all, apparently. We'll just have like one of the basic class overhauls, right? The ones that kind of add a miner class, a farmer class, some of the more mundane stuff. All right, let's try this again. You know, unless someone suggests another specific class mod too. You know, what you guys can do through the Discord and stuff. I have a feeling, because I've kind of messed with my resolution lately, that that's what that visual thing is, because I've never seen it otherwise. So of course the sailboat mod is in, right? So we have sailboats. I'm glad they updated it to where there's like a trading sailboat, a raft sailboat, and then the normal sailboat. So I'm glad there's kind of more hull shapes at the moment. I hope they just keep adding more. You know, I think that'll be cool. And then we got Rustbound Magic. You know, the overhaul to aiming is pretty interesting. I know a lot of people, you know, use a lot of javelins and bows in this game, because like they're just so powerful, especially since you can get double hits and things if you hit them like in like the head, and then the arrow kind of falls into them again. But with the archery overhaul, the different bows do different kind of things. So like the long bow is slower. It shoots more accurately and does more damage, but it's just a slower rate of fire. And then the recurve bow is less damage, shoots faster, and you can shoot a little bit more accurately on the move, I think. So there's kind of choice there between those two, instead of just one being purely better. And because we have the reskin of the bows and things just kind of look a little bit better for those. Of course, we have the firearms mod again. If you guys want to make firearms, which they seem to have been buffed a little bit, which is good, especially with the slow reload rate and the fact that I think you can dual wield pistols now with that mod, which is pretty funny and pretty crazy. Then of course we have the crossbow mod from the same person, which works a little bit better too. It's no longer in beta. I think the scarecrows are going to be a nice addition for people's farms. We have a scarecrow mod in testing that's supposed to kind of, in a radius, kind of fear raccoons and bunnies away from the area. So you guys can actually have kind of scarecrows in your fields. And you won't have to like overly fence if you don't want to. There we go. Okay, that works a little bit better. Alright, so this is kind of my longer save. Am I still in creative mode? I am. I was testing out fireworks. Because, you know, why not, right? Why not have some fireworks? For little events and stuff. Alright. So this is my little survival shack that I've been surviving from for long-term tests. You know, I'm testing out the smoker a little bit here from Primitive Survival. It's a pretty cool little mechanism to get smoked meat. Which is cool. You can kind of smoke, I think, 16 meat in there at once, which is good for bulk storing. I was testing out one of the new boats. This is like the new raft boat from the sailboats mod. It's pretty effective still. Testing aging firewood. I was testing some aging firewood to turn into charcoal to see if it gave me more. It doesn't look like it gave me more, but I could be slightly wrong. It's hard to tell with that a little bit. Let's see. One thing that's also kind of going to change is molds break. So you'll be constantly remaking molds over time. Like doing a metal pour into 10 molds, you might lose 2 or 3 of those molds during the process. So you will have to keep kind of redoing clay and everything. And that's why I installed the mod for plaster molds. So basically, when you do these molds, I'll show you. All right, so you have an empty plaster mold, right, which is like a permanent item, which you get by surrounding like a raw watering can with mortar. You get this mold. And then you fill the mold with some water, mixing in a barrel, right? And you get a full one. And I believe you can bake that instead. You can make liquid clay kind of deal. So this is kind of gets rid of the sculpting process, right? You can kind of just pour liquid clay into a mold, fire that mold, and then out pops the thing. It's kind of for later. It's for later processing. It's also going to help with those shingles and things as well, because the mold, you can just keep filling the molds up, so you don't have to like carve all those shingles anymore. So that's going to be a nice thing, I think, for everyone. What we got? Hide and Fabric again. If you guys like the good old Hide and Fabric mod for some of the clothing options. Ancient Armory. This is some of the new tools, weapons that you can have, from pitchforks to Volge, to different boar spears, double prong spears, war hammers, war maces, sabers, arming swords, gladius, and they're not super OP or anything like that. Actually, Claymore seems fairly strong. Look at that. But I think it's slow to attack. Yeah, I think the attack speed's a little slow. Something also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but with 1.19, the first person view is a little bit better, I think, with like your arms and stuff. Ooh, is there a right click block for this, or am I just holding it out there? I think I'm just holding it out there. Hey, look at my sword. Okay, so I'm wearing some of the mage armor. Here you can see my fully upgraded backpack and what that looks like as well. This requires steel to make, by the way, for the 26 slot backpack. But I'm wearing all my apprentice mage armor, so I get a cool little funny hat. Gotta have a funny hat. And all this stuff that you're seeing in front of me is kind of the Magicraft stuff. It gets a little intense. There's like a whole book that you have to read to try and understand everything, and I had to reread this multiple times. It's pretty complicated to figure out. You'll be doing chalk rituals, like chalk circle rituals. So like, for example, this is a ritual altar. If I come out here and do, I think it's this shape. With my little alchemy symbols. Boop. Boop. So this is a completed ritual circle with elemental crystals here to anchor the whole system down, and then I can throw a talisman of creation into it, for example. Pop that in there. Let's see, what should I make out of this? A ritual. Let's do... I'm only a tier 1 mage in my test world, by the way, so I can only do tier 1 rituals. Let's do an engraved mana stone. That's what these things are, and these are important for kind of powering and doing certain things with this mod. So for that, I'm gonna need a mana stone that's engraved with a chisel. I'm just gonna spawn one in. Okay, and then it kind of tells me when I look at it. So this is gonna create a lesser runestone. I need 4 lesser arcanus. So lesser arcanus, which is another ritual thing I would have to do to create this. So here, and then I need some mana torches, I think, which is a whole other system. Like, I think the 4 mana torches are there. So I like sacrifice these 4 pieces of nuggets, and then I'm gonna cast transmutation. Cast my little magic spell. Boom. You can see I lost some of my fragments, so that would be something I'd have to find and replace. And I lost my talisman. But I got 1 of these runestone blocks. So, and you can see how many I have, and there's upgraded versions of them. So, you know, that ritual is pretty important to kind of know. And that's just an example of one of the magic ones. You know, I have a summon light spell. Oh, I need to meditate. Here a little bit. So meditating regenerates my mana bar, which I had to unlock by going crazy with a rift portal and sniffing some rust dust. You know, just casual cocaine. You can see this makes me go a little bit insane too by regenerating mana. But now I have a mana bar again, and I can cast a little light orb. If I wanted a little magic torch. So I'll cast this. This will take a little bit. Pop. And if I go time, is it space? Okay, yeah. So you can see how much light. This is just a level 1 version of the spell. You can see if I was in a cave or something, I could use that to scout out dark places without having to waste torches for a little bit. The level 1 version of the spell only lasts a few minutes, so it's not like super powerful. But it is a utility spell. With Rustbound magic, you end up making grimoires and researching grimoires. These are like your spell books that you had to research and unlock. You had to like throw things into an oculus to like refine stuff completely here. There's nexuses which store ley line power, and there's different types of nexi. And obviously this is just made for testing purposes and not made to like look super pretty right now. So like that was a big thing to try and figure out even just this much of the Rustbound magic mod. It's pretty crazy. I really like it though, because it actually feels like you're a mage discovering stuff, which I think is important for magic systems. Especially in a game like this. It's not super OP either, it doesn't feel like. In fact, it's a big drain on resources, but it's a fun thing to kind of tinker with. You can see a lot of the trails that I've kind of made here while playing for like the 20 or so hours on the map. You know, so like this is where a lot of wood harvesting happened up in here. There's my trail to go get it. Here's like my trail over to my clay pit. Trail over to my peat pit. Some trails from animals over here. I trail down to the trader occasionally just to kind of see what he has. And so you can see I have like dirt roads and highways, and all these just form by running on it enough times. And over and over and over. And it does increase your move speed, which is kind of nice. For sure. What other mods do we have? I'm going to show you the scarecrows. They look pretty nice. These are the two versions of the scarecrows. The little scarecrow doesn't have as big of a fear radius as the bigger scarecrow, but honestly, I think the little scarecrow is a little cuter than the pumpkin head guy one, but it is cool. Creatures wise, you know, I have birds, squirrels, some more ambient creatures. There's ducks, mallards, if you guys like ducks. Of course, we have all the little wolf variants and things in there. We got a corgi. I don't know what these are from, but oh, these are from wolf taming. Huh. Can you get a... When you tame a wolf, does it just turn into a different dog? How do you get the German Shepherd? Huh. I haven't seen those, so maybe they're just out there. Of course, all the big cats, the lions, leopards, tigers, all that fun stuff. Moose are in. What else do I got? Crossbow mod's good. You guys know what that is. Ceramics. The ceramics mod's there. The bricklayers mod's there. This is all the magic stuff. Like all the magic spells. It's all the way to tier 4. Things like you can learn a fly spell so that you can fly for 5 minutes. It takes 31 seconds to cast. 200 mana cost. It's a tier 4 spell. +4 to growth time on crops. So there's a lot of utility spells. Hydrate crops. Befriend animal, which gives you +4 to its tame generation. A revive spell. These are the really epic spells. A butchery spell. Velocity spell. 250% move speed for about 30 seconds. No, about a minute. A lot of buffs. There's not many direct damage spells. There is one. And at the max level, it does kind of 20 damage or so. But it's a lot of utility spells, which I kind of like. Rather than all direct combat stuff. So what do you guys think of the mod list? Anything that you guys want to add or potentially change about it? I really like the current terrain generation, by the way, too. That's kind of going on with the mods. We got some good rolling hills. We got rivers. Some nice valleys that kind of form. Potentially all through here. I wish there was a setting to where it wouldn't do as many tunnels. Honestly, but alas. Yeah, and I think there's a good balance between like these valleys and then hills that we kind of have here. And of course, oceans are going to be a thing, right? So like this is how big one ocean can be at the moment. In fact, let me teleport over there real fast. I think I showed you guys a screenshot of this place. It's pretty cool. Negative 5,200, negative 500. So you can get like a little river deltas and lowlands kind of forming near areas. And then of course you can get into like the really steep kind of highlands. For sure. And of course with you know, the way landslides and everything works, you know, pretty dangerous. Look at that ruin. I'm not even gonna go inside of it. But that might be the biggest ruin I've ever seen. There's a lot of secrets in that one to find. But yeah, just like all the river valleys, like, I mean, you're gonna have, I think, a pretty good time at finding a spot that's pretty nice to build at, which I think is important for you guys. Alright, how long have I been streaming for? 2 hours. That's all I think you guys are gonna get. Alright, so I think I answered, a little bit of the questions about how to start a little with the mod set. Showed off some of the nice terrain features, showed off a little bit of Rustbound magic. I want to keep Rustbound magic a little behind the curtain. You want to build in that ruin? It's full of enemies. I don't think you'll get to. I mean, maybe if you can clear it out. Enjoy that process. It is huge in there. But it'd be a fun thing to do for sure, especially late game. Clear one out. So yeah, also be posting stuff on the Discord and things. If I want to do another test stream eventually later in the year, I'll do so. But again, this is kind of a one-off because I think a lot of people had questions in the Discord based on like my screenshots and things on the server. It's going to be a little bit more hardcore the next season, so you guys will have to get used to surviving in a little bit more of a harsh way. But I think the reward for reaching those higher metal tiers, increasing your survivability, is going to be a much more fulfilling experience because of that. So I'm excited. I mean, even just having rivers by itself is exciting, for sure. So you guys have a good weekend. I'm going to go chill, get some things done, maybe do some painting. I miss you guys, but I won't be streaming again for a while. So have a good one. Thanks for coming out, saying hi.